Hello, Garfnick's back again, streaming another one of these Hell Let Loose Autumn Seasonal 2021 games. This one between PBS 82 AD and DC. We're going to be on the PBS side on the 82 AD server. Just waiting for the game to start now. Welcome. Obviously, we're somewhat delayed, 15 minutes delayed. Obviously, if there's a problem, then make sure to put it in the chat as you see it. And you know, there's people there that can get hold of me and try and rectify any issues as they kind of arise. Like I say, we're just waiting for the server to kind of restart, and then we'll get going. Interesting one today. Obviously, commentated on the Fins Let Loose game yesterday versus KRT and OC. That was a really good game. Kind of went the distance, although it ended in a 5-0 victory for OC KRT. So it was a good game. I think KRT, it's fair to say, and OC, they kind of really were an insidious force, and they sort of defended their way to an attack, if that makes sense. They really kind of pushed. They held their point, but kind of moved their lines up and sort of pincered Fins Let Loose, and really caused them a lot of trouble. And obviously, in the end, that cost the Fins a game and got the win for KRT OC. So good one yesterday. Hopefully, another good one again today. If the seasonal Discord is anything to go by, I think in most people's minds, it's kind of, I think in most people's minds is kind of that AD, 82nd AD and DC are going to be the favourites. Sorry, I'm speaking in the command chat just now as well for the server. Okay, so hopefully we should be getting going any minute. I promise, I do know that the overlay is on right now. I will remove it. The game hasn't started, I swear to you. Literally just trying to fill the time now at the end of the sort of preparation phase. Just sorting out issues of integrity here, making sure that I have command chat muted, although I'm tempted to check in with the command chat, you know, if something really interesting is happening, but it seems like maybe people are uncomfortable with that, so perhaps we'll give that a miss this game and clear it before next time. It was interesting yesterday to listen to the command chat sort of as the game is progressing, not the whole time obviously, but just to kind of check in, see how stressed or relaxed the various kind of command hierarchies have become in different situations. But as we mentioned yesterday, this is a very competitive tournament. You know, everyone's taking it very seriously, and we don't want any funny business. So, got to make sure that everything's all above board and okay. You know, even yesterday, we were going to be joined by an associate of mine in the game. I should stress that I'm only a casual player, and I'm not at all any kind of competitive veteran or expert. I'm kind of much more on the end of being amazed at these guys' skills and tactics. It's really cool to me to see. But I was going to be joined by an associate of mine yesterday, but he's actually joined KRT like 2 weeks before, so it was kind of voted on, and yeah, he wasn't allowed to join. So it just goes to show, you know, because he would have had access to see Fin Let Loose map, obviously, via my feed. So it just goes to show how competitive this league actually is, or this tournament actually is. Okay, should be nearly ready, I hope. Obviously, both these teams, as I say, they're going to be they're going to be very competitive today. Whether or not PBS can kind of pull out what I think most people would consider a bit of a surprise victory here will remain to be seen. They are facing off against one of the stronger teams in the tournament. But, you know, if 82 AD don't do a good job of defending and there's a fortunate airhead or, you know, some good plays from some of the very veteran players on PBS, who knows what could happen. So, but there's some very, very good shooters obviously over on the 82 AD and some of the DC guys. Really, really good shooters, so we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. As I say, just waiting to get started now. Typing and talking at the same time is a challenge. However, hopefully we'll get cracking soon, and then I can take it off the overlay, because I don't want to be giving anything away. See, otherwise I'd show you what I'm looking at, but I don't know if it's you know, super secret. Squirrel, you know, you can't. It's an old reference there. But yeah, I don't know if you can, if it's allowed that I show any preparation, so I better not, I think, judging by just how fierce the competition is. So PBS, of course, just a bit of background on both teams. PBS, of course, they are very, very well established. They've been, you know, PBS is, I think it's fair to say that PBS or Powerbit's game team is bigger than Hell Let Loose, or is, you know, wider than Hell Let Loose. You know, they've got servers in lots of different games, Squad, Battlefield. I know they used to do Call of Duty, Rising Storm. You know, they are spread themselves very kind of wide, and I think it's fair to say as well that a lot of people playing competitively in this game and in other games, and people who just play on their servers and appreciate their the quality of their admins and things, you know, we wouldn't be where we are today with some of these games without this organisation. So and it's kind of built really around sort of fraternity, you know, and less so about the competitive nature. We'll see today some recruit players in the PBS team. You know, they're all about giving people the opportunities to kind of play and experience the various games that they stream, which is great. So then on the other side, we've got 82 AD. Obviously, they're you know, one of the sort of more competitive teams. Or competitive focused teams, certainly, in the tournament. They've had sort of mixed results. You know, as I mentioned earlier, they've got some really, really good shooters. Of course, you know, shout out to to all of the amazing content creators around Hell Let Loose, who, you know, I've been getting a lot of this information from over the last kind of days, weeks, months, years even, that I've been kind of watching some of this this competitive scene. Oh, okay, right, well, we're getting started now, but we'll cover some 82 AD shortly. Let's make sure this overlay is off, and we can see the game. So I will join, jump on the admin can over here. We'll try and avoid seeing too much of the team set up. Get spawned in nice and quick and get up in the air for everyone. Okay, so we're rocking with Farm Ruins, Derailed Train, Town Centre, Rail Crossing and Canal Locks. Town Centre, obviously, you know, that's a big one. Got thrown off by the wall there. This is a very, very difficult point to both attack and to some extent defend. However, there are very, very strong areas for defence. I'll just turn on the sort of centre of the screen dot here so you can see what I'm looking at. Up here in this building is very, very strong. That covers a you know, a significant area of the sort of approach from the Allied side. Of course, PBS allies here, and the sort of approach is where are we? The approach is here from the sort of south, going north into Carentan. Then as they, obviously there's this back alley here as well, so we can see on the map here we've got this kind of back alley that goes into the back of the point. That's going to be hotly contested, I suspect, as is this back garden here and this building. Additionally, this kind of building on the corner here, this has good vantage points and a place to kind of potentially set up OPs. Of course we could see some tank action coming down the roads here, and this church as well is a very strong location, very important tactically to take this point. So initially we can kind of see some of the layout of where PBS is going to go. Shout out, by the way, to Das Altberg if you want to see the map from the 82AD side. He's streaming on their side at the moment, so check him out too. A really great content creator. And also, yeah, big shout out to Heidi and the organisers of this tournament as well. Not just for putting on this amazing tournament, but for giving me an opportunity to do this and talk to you all as well, because this is, you know, something that for me is really enjoyable. I love this game. I love watching the competitive stuff. The tactics are so interesting to me, and it's like, you know, we all play with toy soldiers as a kid, and this is like the real thing. It's like Company of Heroes, with every person being a real person, and you know, when it gets to this competitive level, it's so interesting to see, you know, just the level of play that can go into it. Okay, well, we'll turn off this this admin cam. You can see here that they've kind of called in smoke into town centre, probably anticipating a push down this road from rail crossing. I expect that this flank as well is probably going to be fairly hotly contested, and yeah, we can see already now. Looking at the map, we've obviously got a lot of PBS players over here in D7, moving up also towards this transport vehicle. Gersh jumping out there, going to set up a machine gun position. I'm excited, everyone. Tactical parking there. And an OP going up there from Bletcher. Let's jump up in the sky again, go and have a look at PBS. Ooh, look at that artillery. Obviously, being anticipated there, the routes that we talked about before coming in from the south, they're kind of trying to do something over there at the church as well. We've got a squad spawning over at the church, and we've got this kind of frontal attack. Again, you can kind of see now that this alleyway down here is being filled out by 82AD players. They're really kind of making an aggressive push into the town centre to hold this area, and this is going to probably be their strategy, is to initially grab town centre. Although I don't want to comment too much on strategy, because I have to stress I am just a public, not a noob, you know, I have around 1500 hours in the game or something, but it's public primarily, so almost exclusively, so I don't want to second guess anyone too much, but I suspect that they're going to try and hold town centre, take the church as I mentioned before, and we can kind of see over there that we've definitely got some fighting, some action going on at the church. Look at this artillery, by the way, absolutely devastating. Absolutely devastating. Can't see who we've got in the artillery, but they're cleaning up. And then it looks like they're going to be moving around on this flank as well, potentially, to try and move towards the next point. PBS staying a little bit far back here, but we can see this squad here with Core and the recon vehicle, you know, really causing some problems. Let's jump in with the tank here. Panther just sitting in town centre. It's a very powerful position, I would say. Backed up against the bank. It looks like 82 AD DC are really doing a good job of kind of taking town centre at the moment. And there it goes. So we can see that PBS, they've got their Garys still set up in D5, D6, but they're already losing derailed. It's not an ideal situation for them if we shoot on over there. We can see there's not tons of enemies in the sector, but what enemies there are not necessarily good enemies to have. We've got Bleacher there who's going to be putting down his OP. We've got people spawning in, and we can see now actually that there's a supply truck here as well. Look, he's going to place down the garrison here. See where we are here in E7. Already this garrison is hot over in D6. So he's put this garrison down here. And we're going to be expecting, I would think, quite a lot of 82 AD guys to be spawning in here in a second. Let's go flip around again and see things from the PBS perspective. Looking out here on the map, obviously we can see that they've spawned in pretty heavily at the hard point here, but will it be enough, considering that garrison's been pretty well established now? We'll see. Wow. Wow. That was some serious explosive action there from Ghost Recon. Getting pinned down now though. Not sure Judgy knows where he is. Oof. Combination with the artillery. Yikes. Great plays there from Ghost Recon. This rough area's been marked, but it's not quite as accurate as PBS might like, I suspect. So we've got Chris Carso here in the tank. Just retreating, it looks like, a bit damaged. Probably trying to get back to an engineer. Looks fairly safe at the moment. Good plays there. Really putting the pressure on PBS here. Like, big time. Especially with Ghost Recon and what he's doing out here. You know, he's now hunkered down. He's just keeping safe inside that point, being that capping power that they need. Not even look at that trigger discipline. Is he going to go for the kill? Oh, he's going for the push. He's looking for the Gary. This artillery, by the way, is pretty devastating. We're going to have a quick look and see who's on artillery in a minute. Ghost Recon there, literally doing what his name implies and commandoing it into the strong point. Let's go and have a little look who's on this artillery, because they are absolutely devastating. Okay, so we've got 3 different squad leaders here. Blurb, Merc and Luxor, all just absolutely laying waste. PBS still doing a good job though here of putting some pressure on town centre, but it doesn't seem to be phasing 82 AD DC too much. They've still got a very tight defensive hold of that whole area. The church that I mentioned at the start, they're still holding that too, so Sheeps' squad out here on the left is having to really take a wide flank, and even then it's not being made easy for them by Terminator and Caden fodder and their squads over there. Having another little look over here at derailed train, we can see that for PBS there's a worrying amount of orange here right now. That's not ideal for them, I would say. Trying to get some fortifications up, it looks like. Not necessarily being able to. Jimbo going down there. Lucky Jim. Ninja Pulver, who was actually also streaming the game yesterday that I discussed earlier, the FinTech Loose game, also the KRT game. You can see there in the middle of the screen. Good player. Getting to work. just adding to this weight of pressure, I think, that 82 AD and DC are really bringing. A bit unlucky there with the artillery, but the pressure's working. Derail train is being contested. Unfortunately, it looks like the PBS artillery markers, the L marker seems fairly accurate, but it's not doing enough, I don't think, to really be that effective in clearing the point. And looking at the map here, we can see that the garrison that was up in D6 has been removed. There's another one back at Farm Ruins, but it's already, you know, sort of surrounded, or getting close to being surrounded by enemies. And we can see Ghost Recon, MLMT, CJ over here. Our Ghost Recon's down. I don't know if that was still the same life, but if it was, then fair play. Wow. He's really slaying it. Let's go with Erded. So Erded's going to be kind of like the PBS tank, the tank commander. So he's sort of the section leader of the tanks for PBS, I believe. So we'll just stick with him for a minute and see where he goes. Now, what I was saying earlier about 82 AD DC, in terms of their kind of success, tournament success, 82 AD alone, you know, they've had kind of a mixed bag of success. In the 18v18 game, you know, they've had a lot of success, but in the 50v50, less so up until this point, I think it's fair to say. But with the addition of DC, who, you know, have some very, very good shooters, I think they're, you know, strong contenders for this whole tournament, to be honest. And I think the polls and the predictions that I've seen floating around online and on the server for the Invitational, you know, they kind of support that theory, I think. So keeping the train tracks covered here. But looking over here, having lost derailed train, it's not looking ideal for PBS at this point. You know, they don't have any garrisons outside of Farm Ruins, and despite having, you know, a tank here and a fair few players, I think, you know, that they're going to need to get some other sort of movements going on. Looking at this, the weight here of the enclosing, the orange players here from 82 AD and DC, like, it's not ideal for PBS at this point. We've got the supplies coming down over here as well, so it looks like there's either a genuine play here by Bleacher et al. To get down a garrison, or it's just literally trying to draw PBS players out wide, drawing them away from the point, thinning them out, which, quite honestly, I wouldn't put past 82 AD. You know, that's they're an advanced, very advanced team, very good, so those kind of advanced strategies are very much, you know, in their kind of playbook. Now, getting involved with some of this kind of close-up action here, we've got a little battle about to happen here, it looks like. Just going to try and place the garrison here, but Capital is so close. They've heard him. Is he actually in the bush? Or is he the other side? That's impressive positioning there. And it's got him the kill. Will he avoid getting the garrison placed? Yes, he will. Great plays there by Capital. Just having the patience to wait that situation out, play it to his advantage. Let's jump back to the tank here. Getting a 76 replacing the 75 on this area, but it looks like they're getting a little bit tangled up potentially. This is a big push here on this side, and a tank battle about to occur. Obviously there's a clear favourite in this situation, tank-wise. I think the guys in the Panther are going to be sort of feeling a bit unfortunate that they didn't roll into the 75 rather than the 76 there, but that was a solid kill there from Bolshevik. Erded here getting smoked. It looks like Obligator is pushing in with his squad. You know, they're really putting the pressure on here. Frost making the moves on his tank. Oof. Yikes. That was a close one, but no cigar this time. Bolshevik kind of, is he going to overextend and get shot in the back by Mav? Maybe, but equally may well sort of have the drop on Mav down the train tracks here. Has spotted, yep, been destroyed, so good kills there again. But looking at this this situation here for PBS, it's not looking ideal. You know, going back to the map again, B6, you know, the Gary's not happening at the moment. They haven't got any players around there. They're kind of just dropping the supplies. Let's go and have a little look. They're dropping the supplies, unfortunately, into a place that's got enemies in it, so it's probably unlikely they're going to survive for very long. They've got this other garrison over here, of course. No dice. Frank here, Powerbits, he's the commander, leader of Powerbits game team, really nice guy. They are kind of trying to do something over here, but whether or not they'll kind of be able to get to derail train and make any meaningful impact, obviously it remains to be seen. I think it's fair to say that 82 AD in the past haven't always defended the best, so it could be that, you know, that's not because they can't, but more because they, you know, as we can see here, they're putting so much pressure on the attack here that, you know, if they did overextend, then they might have a hard time defending. But, you know, with 3 PBS players here, I think, or 4, it's unlikely that they wouldn't be able to get back in time, but we'll keep an eye on that. Wow, they're all the way back, unfortunately, having to spawn all the way back at the HQ, so we've lost a tank here, unfortunately. I'm sorry, by the way, if you're seeing me missing good tank battles, just seeing this tank firing over here, if you're seeing me miss good tank battles, don't forget there's one down here at the trains as well, at the railway, then it's because I find them really hard to see as well as talk and do everything else. Getting a message. Overlays off, sound is good. Yeah, well that's lucky, isn't it? 2 days in a row. Okay, so checking in with PBS tanks here again. They're really doing a, you know, they're putting in some work here. I've got to say, the tank crews at PBS. Whether or not they'll be able to kind of stem this tide, I'm not so sure, but they're certainly not going down without a fight. Is it possible they've overextended slightly here? Maybe, but that's a commander kill on their book, so that's always a good thing, right? Still got tank action occurring over here. Bolshevik still putting in work. Trying to get the flank on, it looks like, these 82 AD guys. Mad round here with the AT, MMT, Capital right back here. If we just check where we are right now on the map, and B7, well B6, my mistake. You know, we can see that these enemies that I'm looking at here, they're right over here in A6. You know, which is not a good place for PBS to let them to be. Kind of, you know, that's you don't want to be completely encircled. But unfortunately, it's looking more and more like PBS really are getting completely encircled here. Looking at the point here, I think it may only be a matter of time before this gets contested. There certainly seems to be an overwhelming weight of orange berries rather than blueberries at the moment. So, lost Viking though, you know, holding it down there in the defence, along with his squad. Let's check in with them real quick. Feeling that heat from the looks. Let's just double check if they can see it. Certainly got some damage. Here we go, it's getting contested now, so may well be airheads any minute as well, or it may have already occurred and I actually missed it, but it's not looking good at all here, unfortunately, for PBS. As valiant as a fight as they're putting up, they're just getting absolutely overwhelmed here. The spacing of these players from 82 AD and DC, really, really good. You know, they've kept the pressure up solidly the entire time. We've got, you know, the commander, PBS commander, he's put down a reinforce now on the point, but I'm not sure, given the kind of positioning of Rhinout and the other defenders, whether they're really going to be able to kind of make a solid impact at this point. Let's just check in with Rhinout. Again, another really nice guy. I think, you know, that's one thing that we have to acknowledge, is that PBS, you know, they really focus on community, camaraderie, friendship, you know, giving people opportunities, and you know, you're never going to find one of their kind of the PBS favourite. Great play there from Rhinout, taking out the OP and then getting the kill as well. Getting good plays with a reload cost him. Nice. Unlucky there. Bit unlucky there. Good plays though. Oh, I'm clipping. So, did a little bit there to try and thwart this final attack, but I'm not sure whether it's going to be enough at this point. This advance over here on the field, possibly not ideal, quite open, but what other options do they have at this point? I think this might be a GG's all she wrote situation in a minute. Oh, curse of the commentator. Yes, no, yes. I'm watching the bar at the top. Yes, I think so at this point. I can't imagine these PBS players being able to get over here and make an effect in the next couple of seconds. But GG's everyone. You know, hats off there to 82 AD DC for the win. On to the next round. Let's have a quick look at the scores here. You know, for anyone watching the VOD back, hopefully I don't scroll it too fast. You can kind of pause it. Bones there in the tank with good score. You know, we've got some pretty kind of high average scores there, I would say. So I'm not sure 82 AD DC's defense was really tested in that one, but they certainly showed what they got in attack, and you know, relentless killing and overwhelming, let's say, because yeah, that was quite the show of force, to be fair, and yeah, they totally deserve the win. But GG's to all the people on Player Bits, because that was good stuff, good to watch, and hats off to the tank squads, obviously, for doing what they could to hold off that last point for as long as they did. Good stuff, and thanks again, obviously, to both teams and to the organisers of the tournament. I'll be back probably next weekend, I hope, with some more casts for you. Until then, obviously, don't forget to check out the VOD once it goes live, and you can check out the other team from Das Outberg. He was streaming on the 82 AD side, so if you're interested in seeing his stream, go and check him out on Twitch as well. Thanks for joining us, and yeah, another good one, kind of just to finish off and round out that final round there. So that's real good stuff. Thanks again, guys, and catch you soon.